Today we're going to talk about baby brine shrimp, how to actually hatch it correctly and to get the optimal nutrition out of baby brine shrimp. But not only that, this system that I've been working on for the last year is almost perfected. It will be available soon, probably within the next couple weeks to a month. I'm going to go through on how I hatch baby brine shrimp to get the best nutrition for the discus. Also, I'm going to show you how to extend the baby brine shrimp where you're going to still get optimal feeding twice a day, once in the morning and once at night. Now, this system is designed to hatch within 24 hours. They actually start hatching about 18 hours. And the closer you can get it between that 18 to 24, the best results you're going to get for growth on your discus. This system is amazing, and I've worked hard on it. Now, you're going to probably notice that these are China made. My big dilemma was the bottle. Trying to design a bottle from scratch was tough because basically I have to get molds done and I'm just not there yet. So I've taken this and upgraded. I call it my hot rod. This is the hot rod, and basically what I've done is I've added a bunch of features to it to make it more of a system. Because just these alone, when you buy these, they are not very good as far as learning how to make sure the bubbles are right, how to get the best hatch. Because of these bottoms, they're not conical. It's a one-time investment. So you see here the temperature. Now the temperature is, now these aren't 100% accurate, so we just want it in the ballpark. That 80 is exactly where we want it. 82 is fine, 84 works, 86 is too hot. 78 works, 77, will work, 76 too low. So that's your range. Alright, so a little early, but what's happening is the unhatched eggs are dropping and the hatched eggs are rising. So we have separation. You can separate for a little longer, but I'm, in the case of time, I got stuff to do today, so I'm just going to kind of do it like this, and it works fine. Just open this up, right? So pull that off of here, boom. Drop it into the container, and then we just open the valve. You're going to get eggs. That's the point. Do not try to get every egg or every shrimp. You will drive yourself nuts. So here you see the separation. You see those eggs. Those are hatched eggs. We do not want those in the water anymore. They will pollute the water. You have ammonia in this water because of the hatching. Now they're not eating, but they're producing waste. Now this is why I use this valve, because it's easy to shut off. So you see here we got a full thing of brine shrimp. Everything is out. So when I'm cleaning out my hatcher, the hot rod, ooh, I love it. Get rid of these hatched eggs, because we do not want these in the water anymore. They have no more purpose except to cause issues as far as hatching the next round of eggs, which is very minimal, but also keeping the shrimp alive for tonight's feeding. Cleaning. We want to fill this up with warm water, hot water, and then this is the cleaning we use. This is super soft. A lot of people use these. Do not. What I have found over time, and it takes about 6 months, when you start using this on the plastic, you create little micro grooves. Now it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but what happens is that bacteria gets stuck in there and you never get it out. And then it affects the hatch rate. So these, no, never. We get this thing clean. And what's nice about these is it doesn't take much to clean it, right? We clean all the way around and we're just getting that bacteria out. But I clean the outsides, I clean this. I mean, I just want it to always stay super clean. Clean this back up. The reason we clean it first is you'll see that there's a reason why we go with that first before we start separation. We want a nice clean vessel. And then what I do is I just squeeze this out. So there's no dripping, hang it to dry. We have our separated. Now if you look, I don't know if I can get that, but whoops. On the bottom, you see the eggs. I'm dripping some because I have to get this on camera because it's so crucial. That's where this comes in. What we want to do, we do not separate or we do not stir it up now. What we do is we take our baster and we get those eggs off the bottom. Now this isn't perfect because I've shaken it pretty good for filming. And then we just put it inside the container. So we want to get all those eggs. Like I said, guys, do not freak out on putting eggs into your tank. It's not a huge deal. I feed them to plecos. They're pretty soft at this point. But you can see that we've gotten most of those eggs out, but there's a little bit in that back corner. So if I was doing this, I'd hold this over my head and again get all those eggs out. But I know they're on this side a little bit. Like I said, this is not perfect, but you can get 90% of those eggs out and get them back in the container. So what we've done now is we've gotten all the eggs out, let's say. Obviously I'll do better when I'm not on camera. It's hard to film and do this stuff. Bear with me. There's going to be eggs in here. I'm not worried about that. I do not worry about it. I know people say, oh, they get bloat. Never had a fish die from feeding baby brine shrimp, and I've been doing it a long time. So now what we do is we stir it. This is what the baser is for. Not feeding. I don't have time to feed fish like this. I get it stirred up as best I can. So we stir this up. Get those eggs in suspension. Get it nice and stirred, and then we take half of this. You could do half, you could do 3/4, you could do 1/4. It just depends on how you want to split it. I usually do half in the morning. So just pour this in. Now what you've done is you've created a new system for later. So we have our eggs. Now on the sieve, always wet your sieve. Always get that screen wet. Because what happens is that when it dries, it has tension. And that tension will not let the water and the material separate. So by having this wet, it basically opens up all these microns. So we can allow the shrimp to flow through. So a little secret on the sieve. Put the sieve in. Now you're going to be tempted to try to pour it like this because you think you're going to hurt those shrimp. Trust me, those shrimp have been through turmoil. This is not going to hurt them. So a little bit higher, and then you just pour right through the sieve. Now I've worked on, this is my 4th generation on these sieves, and I hated the sieves I buy in the store because it took forever to drain. Actually, the nets that you buy were a little bit more forgiving as far as draining and were quicker, but a little more cumbersome, so that's why I don't like them. Pour that right in, and it drains almost instantly. Okay, so right now, we want to keep this water. It's crucial. All right, so we're working on a new funnel system. This was the one we originally went with, but it wasn't seating exactly how I liked it, and I want to make this thing as user-friendly as possible. So then we just take this and flip this over. And the reason why we do that, because we want a nice seat for it. And here's where your pitcher of water comes in. On the new one, we won't have to hold it. But right now we're holding it just because there was a little bit of rocking going on. Fill this up. Separate this. Okay, we're done with this. And like I said, the new funnel will be a little bit wider. Actually a lot wider, because I really wanted to sit in there and not rock. We have our brine shrimp, which is ready to feed, and we have our salt water that we drained off. It's so simple, guys. Just take the salt water, add your fresh water to it. You have a 50-50 solution. And even a little farther is fine. We don't want to go too high because we don't want splashing to come out. I could just take it, set it on, and that would be good, right? That's a good seal. If you really want it to sit on there right, pull it off the hook and turn it. Okay, you hear it snap? You do not snap it hanging. Okay, we need to take that pressure off. So now it's snapped on, back. This is ready to feed later. But let's go feed the baby discus. You have to feed your discus at least for the first month, baby brine shrimp, twice a day. I do it for 2 months. 2.5 months. I just find that after the 2.5 month mark, 3 months, they tend not to be so excited about the baby brine shrimp because it's a lot of work for a little bit of food. I'm going to do a little YouTube thing here. So we have our, now remember I'm doing this by myself, so it is hard. So I'm going to shake this up and get a nice thing. Okay. And then here we go, put it in. All right, that's YouTube. Let me show you how I do it. Boom. All right, they'll feed on that for hours. So you can't overfeed this stuff. That's what's the beauty of it. And they start pecking at that right away. Pretty good hatch. Happy. Okay, let's set up the new batch. So we pop up the lid again, take off the pressure, pop this lid off. So what I do with this is I set this up at night when this one's done. So this goes overnight, so it gets up to temperature. Right now it's at 77, 78. And the reason why is because I've opened up a window because my camera overheats. So it'll get into that 80 range, but the light really helps with that. I noticed I was having a little bit of hatching issues because of the water changeover from the spring, summer to winter, fall. Usually about April or May, they go back to the spring waters. Usually about April. But here's what I do. This will come with it, conditioner. Use it, don't use it, but if you're not getting hatches, it might be a good option. Now you can go up to 4. That I found is no problem. You know, so I'm gonna do 4 on this one, just for the video. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put it back. Put this away. So not a lot needed, but I know there's people that say you're not supposed to dechlorinate the water. I dechlorinate it. I dechlorinate it every time. In the spring or summer, I'll do 1 or 2 drops. Right now, I'm doing 4 drops. So we have my salt. Now, I'm going to have containers that I sell. This is just something that I've been testing as far as salt. And then the scoop. Okay, the scoop is designed with this system. And this comes with it. So basically, we put in 2 scoops, level scoops. 1, 2, perfect amount. Salt in. All right, eggs. You can hatch up to 4 of these spoonfuls of eggs. No more. 4 is heavy, and you better be on top of it early. You do not let 4 of these scoops go for 36 hours because you will get a putrid mess. But if you can pull that first batch within 18 to 24 hours, you can go up to 4. I have 20 tanks, 2 level, right? You could do 1 level and that'll do a nice fish room. You could do 1 heaper and that would do a really, really nice fish room. Or you could do 2 levels, which I do. 2 levels. Now I'm going to do a little extra on this one. I'm going to do a level and a heaper. Give me a nice hatch. These eggs are premium, 90%. I believe I'm getting over 95, but I'm going to keep it with the 90% just because that's a good number. But here's the thing with this system. If you buy it, you get my support, you get my number, you get to talk to me, you get a problem. Just like my meds, I answer people all the time on my meds. And there's always something that's a little bit unclear, or maybe I describe it one way and they're understanding it a little different. So with my systems, you always get support. And you'll get a hold of me and I'll get back to you within usually 10-15 minutes, you know, within the hour for sure. But these eggs are the best eggs I've found. I've tested over 20 different types of eggs from all over the world. I am done with a hatch within 24 hours. For me, that's huge because this cycle is perfect. It gets me food for my babies because I always need these going. Always, right? Even if I'm trying to hatch guppies or whatever. This one's clean. It was cleaned last night. Again, you put the lid on. It'll snap on, right? But if you really want it to really get in there, you gotta put it on and turn it. And now it's sealed. It is not sealed where water still will not come out. It's not a water seal, but it's more of just a product seal that the eggs won't come out. And also there's an air valve on the top to release the air. All right, and that's it as far as hatching baby brine shrimp. That's how I do it. I'm sure there's a bunch of ways to do it. I have just found over time, so this is the highest hatch rate, but also most successful. As far as, usually if there's a problem that I didn't get a hatch, it's something that I did. Usually I forgot to salt. Small batches, and that does not stay in my fish room. That I do not keep a lot. I usually fill this up about halfway, and you'll get one of these containers too, with the spoon, everything. So I have built this as a system. When you don't put salt in the water, you'll come in the morning and it stinks, right? And so that's another thing I want to talk about. Smell it. If it smells like the ocean, you're good to go. If it smells like rotting eggs, do not feed it to your fish, because for one, you'll probably not have any live baby brine shrimp. Two, you'll just pollute your tank. So always be smelling it. And literally, I can smell it when I turn the corner. If I have that smell, I know, oh, that was a bad hatch. What did I do wrong? So I'm very conscious that when I'm doing this process, I'm going through the scenario of everything. The water conditioner, the salt, and then I'm very conscious about how many eggs I'm putting on it. I'm counting as I'm going. I'm not thinking about anything else, because I find if I do that, I'm successful 99.9% of the time. I don't care what kind of fish you're breeding, and especially if you're breeding for profit. This is almost a no-brainer. The fish grow faster, they grow healthier. You have higher successes as far as baby fish growing into young adults to sell. Coloration's really good. You know, people are always, oh, reds and reds. Yeah, you'll get red fish out of this. Even if they're blue, they're going to get red on them. That's a great selling point, because red's a very popular color for people to buy fish and spend money. Alright guys, that's it for today. I wanted to make this video because I got a lot to do today, but I wanted to get a video out. And you know, I'll make another video on the complete process with everything finalized. And when you see that video come out, this will be available. I will not have hundreds of them, because in order to buy hundreds, I have to buy literally almost about 500 of these containers. And I'm not willing to do that. But I'll have about 10 sets available. And then, you know, you guys can try that. Now, if the sets are gone and you want more, you have to leave me a message. I will build you a set and get it to you. And pricing is not done yet, because I don't have the final numbers on the system as far as all the parts. We have like 2 or 3 more tweaks. So look for this in the next month. I appreciate you guys.